All right. Hello and welcome. We are going to be talking to you tonight about holiday weight management strategies to biohack your health. So I'm Dr. Jessica Bueller, and Dr. Elizabeth Olson is also on here, and we will be presenting for you tonight. So Dr. Elizabeth, if you want to start by explaining to us the difference between a hijacked versus a biohacked body.
Sure. So this gets exciting because biohacking is falling in that wellness paradigm again. So if you think about our typical medical model, we're always kind of waiting for things to really happen to us. We have all these situations that are hijacking us, and we're under these destructive processes all the time. And then when something does happen, we work really hard to try to remediate it and get back to a form of health that we previously had. But that's really hard to do. It takes a long time, and it's really costs a lot of money for us. So you think about it, we always have physical, chemical, and emotional stresses going on. And the holiday season is a very big component of that stressful time. When we're biohacking, we're working preventatively to actually take control of our biology to produce an overall health and vitality that we're looking for. And in this case, using different forms of nutrigenomics or natural products to actually change how our genes are expressing themselves.
So using nutrigenomics, like Dr. Elizabeth just said, we can use nutrition to affect our gene expression. And that is what we're able to do with what we call our vitality stack. And this is a foundational nutritional regimen that both Dr. Elizabeth and I use in our practices and also in our own families to reduce oxidative stress, to boost our mitochondrial production, improve energy and sleep, support a healthy microbiome and immune system, and also our brain function and heart health. And so reducing oxidative stress is maybe one that if you're not familiar with the vitality stack, you might not have heard of. But oxidative stress is as close to synonymous with inflammation as we can get. It's underlying and connected to many symptoms, conditions, and disease. So with this vitality stack, we can get a 40% reduction in oxidative stress in 30 days, and a cumulative effect with the longer that we take it. And then with mitochondrial production, getting a boost in that, the mitochondria are the energy producing part of our cells. And so when we increase the production of our mitochondria, we get more energy on a cellular level. And really, that's what we're keen in on with this foundational nutritional regimen, is to get a good base to start on, to get to that cellular level, that functional level of us. And when you think about it, we are, simply put, 37 trillion cells. And so with this vitality stack, we have 2 cellular activators, and then we have two other supplement products, the probiotic and the omega product as well. And so with that, we can choose our different level of nutritional biohacking with our NRF2 Protandim, or with the dual synergizer NRF2 and NRF1, or the activated essentials, which gives us NRF2, NRF1, and ProBio, or with all 4, which is ideal situation where we have NRF2, NRF1, ProBio, and Omega Plus. But the different levels are there so that you have options to choose from. So Dr. Elizabeth, if you want to take over talking to us about biohacking our thoughts.
Sure. So the way we think evolves into a different type of stress within our body. So we need to be very conscious of how we're controlling our thinking process as well. So there are several things that we can work on doing this. Meditation or prayer is fabulous. And I always tell people, if you have never heard of Gabby Bernstein, you should look up some of her information. She has very specific walkthrough meditations for you that you can find on YouTube. And she's written a bunch of books if you're new to meditation as well to help you with that. personal growth is a huge thing as well. This has been a year of immense personal growth for me. And what that has done is completely changed my thought process. It's made me more open to things, including my relationships with other people and my ability to be more resilient to stress, I feel. The circle of 5, maybe Jess, you can help me with that one.
Yes. So we become like the people that we surround ourselves with. So you want to think about your circle of 5. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Because these 5 people are really influential to you, even if you don't realize it. So if your circle of 5 is not 5 people that you would like to be like, then you really need to readjust that and try to get a different circle of 5. Find someone that you would like to be like and include them in your circle, who you're around the most. Because whether we like it or not, we become like the people that we surround ourselves with. So this is really your influential circle. It's where you're comfortable. Most people, whoever they're around the most are the people they're the most comfortable with. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the 5 that you'd like to be the most like, even though that's what's happening. So sometimes your 5 is good. Sometimes 4 of your 5 are good. Sometimes none of your 5 are good. So really just thinking about who you're surrounding yourself with, because that really makes a big difference as far as how you handle stress. And holidays can be very stressful for people as well. So, and then positive affirmations. You can choose different versions of positive affirmations. I really like Louise Hay, and she's the one who has Mirror Talk as well. But positive affirmations are saying positive things to yourself several times during the day. And with Mirror Talk, you do those positive things while you're looking in the mirror, and they are positive things to yourself. We oftentimes are very critical of, especially of ourselves and of other people too. But criticizing yourself is one of those things that leads to criticism of others as well, because you become so critical of your outside world. Instead of seeing the positive, you tend to see those negative things, especially in yourself. So positive affirmations and Mirror Talk help to build up your own self-confidence and your ability to handle whatever's thrown at you. And then using essential oils to biohack your thoughts as well. So I'm going to give you some of my favorites and then let Dr. Elizabeth give you some of hers too. But I like Young Living essential oils. So if you don't use Young Living, you'll have to figure out what the conversion is to whatever you use. But Peace and Calming, Valor, Joy, those tend to be ones I really like to use this time of year. But also some of the seasonal ones that just kind of get you into that Christmas spirit, the things that remind you of your childhood. There's several scents there too. Christmas spirit, ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, some of those holiday seasonal scents can also change how you're thinking as well. How about you, Dr. Elizabeth?
Those are great. I had all of those down. And then I also had down, I have clarity down. For those tricky situations, maybe with family members that you can't avoid and have to be around. And then cedarwood and lavender are just general singles that I really like to help really boost my approach with things and help calm myself down to analyze maybe situations that have happened over the parties or the events that are going on.
Yes. And there's Sacred Mountain is one I also like to use, kind of along the same lines as clarity as well, to, dealing with whatever it is that you might be around. Okay, so now we're going to talk to you about biohacking your output. So one thing that happens when people tend to get stressed or have extra things added in their life is that they tend to decrease the amount of output that they're doing, especially in the form of activity or physical exercise. They just tend and colder outside, they have more going on, and so we want to put some emphasis on increasing your output. So one thing is a 20-minute walk. 20-minute walk daily has been shown to be as effective as 2 antidepressants taken at the same time without the side effects. So you owe it to yourself minimally to do some kind of walking every day for the purpose of walking. And, step tracking devices are great because they give you a daily goal, and then you have something that is actually keeping you accountable for whatever it is that you've set for your goal. But otherwise, you can do, really any kind of exercise is great. But I've seen a lot of people use, HIIT exercise or high intensity interval training, so that they can do a shorter workout, but still feel like they're getting that intensity that they want to get. Beachbody has a lot of programs. There are other programs as well, whether you're doing a DVD series or have a gym membership or whatever the case is. But planned workout regimens. So the thing about it is that you have to actually plan the workout. So whether it is a 6-week schedule or an 8-week schedule, I just planned out my next 8-week workout schedule. And I just, simply, you can simply have a calendar and you just write on the calendar what you're going to do that day and when you're going to do it. And the more specific you are, the more likely you are to stay committed to doing it, because it's on your schedule and you'll have less interruptions. And you're giving yourself that commitment to doing it. So I find that planning and scheduling are really helpful for me. How about you, Dr. Elizabeth?
I have to plan it or I will not do it. Absolutely. And I think with the planning too, you want to think a little bit about traveling now this time of year. So for me, that means if I'm at a hotel, I pick a hotel that has a really nice workout facility and potentially maybe workout programs that are quick to pick up and look at on their TV, on their general streaming. But then I also plan, if I'm staying at someone's house, what type of workout equipment do they potentially have that you could use? Or do you need to maybe pack some bands or some different type of, low resistance type of workout things to facilitate your workout, and just get moving any chance that you can when you're traveling, right? Just if you can walk further or hit a walk in after prepping for meals or anything like that, I think it makes a big difference. Again, just planning everything out for yourself.
How about green tea fasting exercise? Can you explain that to them?
Yes. Oh, okay. So with me for the green tea fast, what I've told people in the past, and Jess, if there's alterations, let me know. But green tea fasting is just having a cup of green tea in the beginning of the morning, before, and then waiting half an hour or so before you eat anything further. That's how I've always applied it. Mm-hmm. And it's so great. I have all my notes out in front of me, but it stimulates your your sympathetic nervous system to actually increase your overall energy exertion. So you're burning more calories and you're burning more fat, just because you're implementing this tea in. I also love that it pushes your stored energy. So if you think of that, it's your glucose and your body fat. It pushes it into a readily usable application or form. So basically your blood glucose. So you're just burning stuff that would be lingering there if you weren't doing this really inexpensive and easy care modality for yourself. And I've read several studies that have shown that it decreases your hunger hormones too. So you're just not having that typical signaling you would be to go and eat after as well.
Yes. And the polyphenols that are in green tea really activate the utilization of your fat, as Dr. Elizabeth just said. So we see a lot of waist circumference that is affected by doing this. And when people hear the word fasting, a lot of people think, oh, I can't do that. Well, in this case, your fasting is happening, from whenever you ate supper, then you're sleeping through a majority of the fast. And so it's when you first wake up that you're having that cup of green tea, and then you're doing some kind of low-level exercise. It can be yoga, it could be stretching, it could be walking, it could be not as intense form of cardio. You wouldn't really want to go do your HIIT training right then. You could do your HIIT training later or after that. But anyway, it's just, it's a really simple fasting and really simple thing to implement. That first thing that you're drinking, having be that green tea. And then of course, as far as your output goes, There are many forms of self-care that are beneficial as well, whether you're talking a massage or acupuncture or chiropractic or a raindrop massage. That is one of my favorite things with Young Living raindrop oils. If you've never experienced that, that is very powerful, especially to help with handling stress during the holidays. But what other things do you have there, Dr. Elizabeth, that I'm missing?
I would add in sleep. So like I plan my workouts, I plan my sleep too. I have to be in bed by this time of night. So everything else has to be done for me to be able to wake up and feel really good through this. And it boosts your immune function. It's just, sleep is so deprioritized during this time of year, and it needs to remain consistent for you to be able to function, add all these extra things in over this period.
Agree. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now also your input, biohacking your input. So there's a lot about what you eat and what you're putting in that can change your how you manage your weight during the holidays. And there are a lot of different options too, and some of this you might even want to mix up, but we're just going to kind of go through and give some different options. So the typical 2 shakes a day and a balanced meal tends to work really well for a lot of people if you like protein shakes. So there's different protein shakes. In a little bit here, we'll talk about a protein shake that Dr. Elizabeth and I both use. But 2 shakes a day and then just 1 balanced meal. And then of course, not eating after a certain time of the night makes a big difference too, because we definitely don't want you eating within a few hours from going to sleep. So we don't want you to be, having your meal and going right to bed. Not a good plan at all. And then intermittent fasting, and I love intermittent fasting. And if you guys have not done this, this is really effective as well. And you can Google this or YouTube search for some intermittent fasting stuff. There's some really good information. But basically, you're just changing up when you're eating, not the fact that you're still going to eat. It's just when you're going to eat it that's going to be different. And I've done different schedules where, you do, say when you first start, you give yourself a 10-hour time frame where you eat, and then the other 14 hours you do not eat. And then you shorten that 10 hours to 8 hours and 6 hours and 4 hours. And what I found out was that I was really only hungry for about 2 hours of the day. Most of the time I was thirsty, but our body is really confused as far as hunger and thirst. So intermittent fasting is super helpful, and it really is good at tricking up your body into utilizing its own fat stores for energy as well. So I use that a lot. Have you also used intermittent fasting, Dr. Elizabeth?
Yes, I'm back and forth, but I can't consistently be doing it. I'll plan out certain days or a week-long process where I'm doing it. And for me, doing like a break where I only eat for 8 hours. There's several different types of intermittent fasting like Dr. Jess was talking about, but for me, I'll plan out the 8 hours during the day that I will allow myself to take food in. Of course, drinking water and tea and different things during the other points. And I was really surprised, I think, the first time I did it. I could, if I felt hungry, I could consume a little bit of coconut oil, and it would just totally take away that craving for me. So that was a big deal for me too.
Yes, and totally agree. Coconut oil was a lifesaver. And bone broth. I have used bone broth also with different fasting schedules as well. And not with fasting too, just bone broth is so healing for our bodies in general. And that's so simple to make as well. It literally is what it sounds like. You take the bones and you put water with them and you boil it and get that broth that is there. Bulletproof coffee, I love that too. Again, coconut oil, and you can either use coconut cream or heavy cream, but not half and half, not milk. You really want to get the fattier version. Butter, whatever it is that you want to put in there. And there's different forms of detox water and detox teas. I like the Yogi brand of teas. I've found a healthy fasting one and several different detox teas that come that way. You can make your own versions. I've made a water that I like with lemons, fresh slices of lemons and cayenne and a tiny bit of agave, with a bunch of water. I've also done detox waters with essential oils, whether it's grapefruit or cypress or lemon or any of the citrus family, really. How about you for waters and teas?
My favorite is dandelion tea with some lemon juice and some cranberry juice. And I put it in a big pitcher in the fridge on a Monday, and I drink it pretty much every day until it runs out, and then I fill that pitcher back up and we keep going.
And then a clean week. So clean weeks are good too, where you're just basically trying to cut out all the garbage. You want to plan ahead for them, obviously, and this is how we're designed to eat anyway: lean proteins, good fats, and vegetables. So again, they're kind of having you cut out even the fruits with this, so you're not getting any kind of sugar. You can do fruits though as well, depending on what you're going for, and if you can go with the lower sugar fruits, that makes a big difference as well. But I've seen a lot of times where people will grill or cook their meat on a Sunday, say, and portion it all out. Same thing with your vegetables, cleaning them all over the weekend and portioning them all out so that you're ready to go for the week. And just avoiding processed foods and carbs, simple carbs especially, and that kind of thing. Or an apple day. So with an apple day, the only thing you can eat for the entire day are apples. You can have water and you can have tea, but you cannot eat anything else. Just apples all day long, as many apples as you want. Or a steak day where you fast for the entire day, and then you have the biggest steak that you want, or as much steak as you want, for your evening meal. And preferably that your meal is not super late again. Maybe your meal was at 5 or 6 or 7 at the latest, depending on when you're going to bed. But then you have that steak. But all day long, you drink your water or your teas or whatever. But water intake is really, really huge. So many purposes for water in our body. I mean, it's essential for every process. Everybody knows it's important, but you would be surprised how few people actually drink enough water during the day. I'm always astounded by that. So you need at least half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need 100 ounces of water. And that's if you're not active, you've never broke a sweat for the day, and you really just have done hardly absolutely anything. So if you're doing more than that, you need even more water. It just keeps every system functioning better. Do you notice that you find that people are deficient in their water intake?
So deficient. And I would point out, during this time of year, we need even more water because of how dry the air is, and how much more quickly we dehydrate our cell. And so you have to get that intake in to get the water pushed into the cell as well.
And then, healthy menu choices. So with the holiday season, you tend to be eating out more. So you really want to be thinking about what you're putting in and what choices you should really be avoiding on a menu versus ones that would maybe be better. So Italian restaurants, those tend to be really hard for people because you're starting off with some kind of bread, and then there's a lot of carb options for the main meal, and then a lot of times people are going for dessert or adding alcohol with the menu as well. So you really want to just try to find whatever options you can that maybe have more protein, more good fats, and more vegetables, and have less of those simple carbs. Same thing with a Mexican restaurant. You know, if you could stay away from the chips or portion out how many chips that you're going to have instead of just having chips from the basket where everyone else is eating. It helps you at least know what you've put in instead of just guessing how much was there. And then, of course, meal planning and prepping. I mean, this is huge for me. If I don't have my prep day where I can wash all my fruits and my vegetables, well then, you know, it's just, you go for what's easy, right? I mean, you need the easy stuff, even if it's just washing your apples or your pears or your peaches or your oranges, washing your strawberries, whatever. But having a plan for what your meals are going to be for the week makes a huge difference as far as eating what you plan then. You have anything more on the menus or planning there?
I'm such a big advocate of it. I actually worked on mine this morning for the for the whole season, the whole rest of November and December. And for me, it's every single meal is planned out. I have that in my grocery list. I go get everything. Every week I get new produce, basically. But it makes such a difference. And it saves us a lot of money, ironically, too. We aren't heading out and grabbing something more expensive and quickly. So that's a big one for me. I think also just considering when you're traveling, thinking ahead too. You know, can you order healthy, nutritious snacks for the car or the plane? And think of that in general. How can you make this as easy as possible on yourself? What, you know, I love Thrive Market. I don't know if any of you have tried that. You can order all natural, hormone-free, free-range type of food products, organic products. But even, you know, like Walmart, they have, you can order your groceries and pick them up, or you can have them shipped to yourself. So that's what I try to do.
And then of course the adequate rest, which Dr. Elizabeth brought up before too. But this is a huge component for your ability to have mental clarity, to not be as hungry, to not be as cranky. You know, there's so many good things that happen to our bodies besides just the rest. We heal, we restore, we repair. It's just important for every aspect of our lives to get enough sleep. And sleep, it seems to be, is one of those things that's very specific to each person. So I like to look at the America's Sleep Doctor, Dr. Bruce. If you look up some of his stuff, there's actually 4 different types of sleeping patterns. Basically, there's 3, and then there's the 4th that's just the wild card kind of sleeper. But it explains kind of how your sleep-wake cycles go, and how much time you actually need to be asleep to be at the top of your game for your sleeping style. So that was super helpful for me, and obviously my husband and I are not on the same sleeping schedule either. So that makes things interesting too. So. And then as far as essential oils, again, you know, you can consume oils too. It's not just the smells of them or diffusing them or putting them on yourself, because you have tons of options. But you can also drink them too, or put them in your foods to get benefits that way as well. Anything more here?
Looks good to me.
And then this is Physique System. This is LifeVantage Physique System, and you can obviously see from the picture that there's some visual effects too, and reduction in abdominal fat by 254%, reduction in hip size, reduction in waist size, and then the lipolytic effect. So this is the breaking down of fat in our body that happens with this program. And it's really pretty simple. The protein shake is a whey-based protein, and it has some coconut oil in it as well. It's sweetened with stevia, and it has some slow and fast release amino acids to help keep you full longer. And it tastes good, which I like. And then this system also comes with ProBio, which is our probiotic. And the healthy gut microbiome is big for our immune function. But when it comes to the holidays, this helps with, the gut has been termed our second brain. So we know that when the gut is healthy, our mental clarity, our mental state is going to be better too. So, I mean, when you're feeling stressed, or you are not sleeping that well, or you just have more on your plate than you need, the good bacteria are going to make a big difference there as far as all of that goes, along with digesting and absorbing your food. And just so many benefits to having a good probiotic. But when it comes to the holiday season, it seems even higher priority. And then physique fat burn, which is, this is targeted at our visceral fat, which is the unfriendly stuff that surrounds our organs. It has two things in it that are pretty powerful and potent together. Cinetrol and sweet orange and Sevital. Sorry, I'm saying that wrong. Sevital, I think that's how you say it. But when you put the two together, combined with our NRF1 product, it really kickstarts the utilization of fat in the gut area as well. So we see stubborn fat going away, an increase in energy, an increase in body composition, and balancing of blood sugar levels as well. So pretty powerful. And then cleanse. The cleanse is probably one of my all-time most favorite products, and I'm sure that Dr. Elizabeth will agree. So I'm going to let her explain a little bit about it as well.
Yes. So the cleanse is important for a maintenance level, but specifically around the holidays, consuming a product like this helps us just get rid of that excess sludge that builds up in the gut. And that can build up for many different reasons. You could be detoxing, and you're detoxing at such a high rate that you cannot eliminate what you're detoxing as quickly. But it gets that out of there, and then it also helps to heal the gut borders, which improves how your gut is functioning again overall. I love the cleanse.
Yes. And, and our cleanse is not like some cleanses where you're going to be stuck on the toilet for days. It's very gentle. It's safe enough to be used daily, and also safe for kids. It's therapeutic and preventive both. So we are not only removing the junk out, but we can also see a healing effect there, and a prevention of so many things, because we know that many conditions start in the gut. And so if we can get the bad stuff out and put the good stuff in, it makes a huge difference. So I use the cleanse as recommended on the bottle, which is 4 capsules a day for the first week of every month. But through the holidays, I take 1 in the morning and 1 at night from Thanksgiving on. Actually, I've been using it since I just had my last baby even. Okay, so smart energy. Dr. Elizabeth, can you tell us about this?
So Axio is biohacking for your brain. It's actually a brain food. It's a little drink packet, I have one right here, that you add into water, and it immediately crosses the blood-brain barrier, so you notice effects instantaneously. And what it does is it gets your neurotransmitters exactly where they need to go, so connections are being made. So overall, you have improved mental endurance and acuity, improved concentration and memory. Your neurotransmitter function is better, so your brain is more resilient to stress. And this is important too when it comes to weight gain and our ability to feel hungry. And then it reduces mental fog and brain fog and increases your mood, which we all need during the holiday season. And it's a very clean additive too. It's gluten-free, it's non-GMO, it doesn't have artificial colors or sweeteners in it. And it's available in decaffeinated and caffeinated options. So it's considered an energy drink just because it has the addition of B vitamins, but it's not high in sugar and some of the other bad things that we see in other energy drinks that cause us to have that energy spike and then crash. It's just a clean, constant connection that's happening. So I actually add Axio into my protein shake as well. I don't know if I've ever said that on one of our talks before, but I use Axio without protein before I work out to enhance my workout, and I use it after with the protein shake to help with my recovery after the workout. And I've noticed a huge change in my workouts using Axio and the protein shake together.
Perfect. So, like I said, this is what I did last holiday season. Of course, I'm breastfeeding right now, so my regimen is a little bit different. I'm not using fat burn currently, but I did the Vitality Stack. You want to take the probiotic immediately upon waking with water only, and then 30 minutes later, have the rest of your stack, or longer. It can be longer than that. And then the fat burn, taking 30 minutes before the 2 largest meals of your day, and the cleanse, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, or you know, like I said, you could do the first week of each month, or immediately following a holiday where you feel like you really have gone, you know, had way too much to eat, and want to kind of get rid of things. And then taking extra probiotic is also an option, where you took the 3 in the morning with the stack, but then you took an additional 3 right before bed or in the evening. So, all right. Well, thanks for coming and listening to us tonight. And if you have any questions, just reach out to either of us, Dr. Elizabeth or myself. We are happy to answer any questions, or if you have anything else that you want to know about, we are happy to help. Anything else, Dr. Elizabeth?
No, thanks everyone. Happy holidays.